Well, sort of the dream of the cafe and where the genesis was for this cafe really ultimately came from Mom, from Jan Orchard. And she kind of approached me with this idea that she just sort of had a heart for those in our community that were dealing with hunger issues. I mean, across the country, we're probably looking at anywhere between an 18 and a 20% what we would call a food insecurity issue across the country. And it's the same here for us in the Tri-Cities. So it was a means by which we could address the hunger problem in really kind of a new and fresh way, sort of break the paradigm of what it meant to deal with hunger. And historically, you see soup kitchens, church pantries have really been key means by which communities have dealt with the hunger issue. This is sort of a new paradigm and a new way to approach it, in which you can really kind of integrate community to basically serve itself in a lot of capacities.
1 Acre Cafe started as an idea in January of 2012. Our main focus is feeding the hungry in this area, and also providing a sense of community and an opportunity for people to work in exchange for a meal. The idea sort of grew from the thought of the problems in this community about food insecurity and hunger. So what happened as a result of that is I went on the internet and I found an organization called One World Everybody Eats. And I emailed the woman that heads up that foundation. Her name is Denise Soretta. And I asked her how we might start one of these cafes that she had started out there in Salt Lake City, Utah. And so she gave me a lot of information. She gave me a business plan framework that I could use. And she sort of acted as a guide as we began to go through this process. During the process, I learned that one had recently opened up in Boone, North Carolina. So I put together a team of 4 people. We sort of put our heads together and decided we wanted to go over to the Farm Cafe in Boone, North Carolina and talk to their executive director and see how they started and the road that they traveled to open up their cafe. When we were driving along, we were so excited coming back from Farm Cafe. We were talking about our sign. What would our sign look like, and what should our name be? And Beverly thought and thought, and we were all thinking, throwing out ideas, and she said, you know what? She said, you can grow a lot of food on 1 acre of land. So we decided to call it 1 Acre Cafe. We are 95% volunteerism here at the cafe. So the way that the community has come out and supported us has just been wonderful. There's a community garden, Carver Community Peace Garden, and they've come forward and said that they would like to dedicate a plot to us so that the vegetables that are grown in that plot would be brought over here to 1 Acre Cafe. Sam Jones, who is the coordinator of that garden, has talked with our chef about what is it that you think that you'll need in terms of vegetables.
I care a great deal about hunger in my neighborhood and in my town and in all over the world. So it was just a personal interest of mine before I ever heard about the cafe. That's why I started this garden, and it just seemed like the perfect fit when I was introduced to the 1 Acre Cafe concept, that we could grow food for them, and then in turn they can serve it and reach a lot more people than I ever could just working alone in my plot. We're going to be growing a lot of different summer vegetables for 1 Acre Cafe. Everything from green beans to potatoes, tomatoes, peppers, and herbs. It's a good feeling knowing that I'm a part of that.
Well, the process of trying to establish and attract a chef for us was, early on we knew that was going to be really, really critical. It was really our intention that not only did we want to create a space where hope was generated and regenerated, but we also wanted to do it amidst a great meal. There's no greater thing than be able to sit around family and friends and community and be able to break bread together and sort of enjoy that experience. So the intent was quite direct for us in knowing that we had to have the right person here. And we interviewed, I think maybe in the neighborhood of 8+ different chefs of the area. Folks that were in different culinary schools, maybe had been in the restaurant industry throughout our community. And just through process of discernment on our part, we found ourselves introduced to Matt Clark, who is now our chef now. And it's just been a great partnership. He's just got really a special heart for this community. He really does well, especially well, with building community with our volunteers. Everything that he does and engages back there in the kitchen is with volunteers. So he's not only training every day, but he's preparing the meals, and he's preparing these folks that are his volunteers and now really are becoming a part of his family, and they're walking out of here with skills that they never had, and we're really, really thankful that he's a part of the team.
Well, it's definitely a more dynamic kitchen than I've ever been into, because every day you're training somebody new. Every day somebody's coming in that may or may not know anything about working in a kitchen. And in this industry, you have to be patient, and you have to be kind of cool and calm, or you will lose your mind. I mean, it's not something where you can just come in and expect everything to go the way it's supposed to go, because everything happens outside of the box once you get started. Nothing goes the way that you plan it out for the most part. And having a dynamic kitchen like that, it has its own challenges. Seeing the need for the community, that need that's being filled, and seeing how many lives that you actually have touched, it opened up my eyes, not being able to see, you know, how many people actually need this place, because this is not a business that's ever been tried before in this area. So you don't really know how many people you're affecting until you get into it. And to see the response we've gotten from the community was just amazing, because I had no idea that this place was as needed as it was. Just having this little island of hope for people, it's been kind of neat.